Yo. like cold, lost and upside down. Faces rolling past me, all my memories rolling vastly. Cold, lost beneath the ground. All done by my own hand, I allow my feelings to become sand. Oh, if you're gonna cut me down, better do it quickly now. You can cut me down, but I won't stay for long. I'll grow back again. Oh yeah, my roots are strong. My roots are strong. This is not forever. Folks changing like the weather. Cold, weird, and all around. Toxic people being severed, like leaves falling in September. Cold, wet, and on the ground. You can cut me down, but I won't stay for long. I'll grow back again. Oh yeah, my roots are strong. My roots are strong.
Yeah.
Hello, hello. We are live.
Hello.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please meet Ken, aka Hutchinson. Hutchinsane. Is that correct?
Yeah. Emphasis on the insane part,
Insane part. So you
as
are
you can
insane.
see behind me.
Yeah. So tell us something about you. So tell us, how did you get into Home Assistant? How did everything start? Yes. How did you find each people you met over the way of Home Assistant, and present yourself a bit?
Well, my name's Hutch. I'm still a student. I will probably be starting computer sciences this year, and I'm 23. So there's not that many people my age I've met in Home Assistant community. I don't know. And I started getting into Home Assistant, I think I was just browsing AliExpress randomly for LED controllers, and I was not happy with any of the solutions I could find because they all required like proprietary applications, and I did not like those apps whatsoever. So I looked for an alternative, and I first found something else which I do not remember what it was called, and then I just googled home automation suite alternative, and then I found Home Assistant somehow. And I think then, like, through home automation.
Yeah, Ben, yeah.
Yeah, I think I found Home Assistant mainly because of him, because like some video he did, and I got intrigued and I downloaded it. I think it was on Windows. Yeah, it was on Windows, Python. So I had some problems getting the Brooklyn controller working that I had. So I switched to Linux, which made me switch to Hutch.io, and here we are. I cannot stop automating the house, and my family hates me.
So, what is Home Assistant or House.io currently running on in your home? On a Pi, or do you have a dedicated server, or?
I actually went totally overboard, and first I ran it on an old laptop I got from eBay, which was still an i5, but it was broken. Then I bought a rack server because I needed the hard drive space and I wanted the backup server, and currently it's running on a Fujitsu Celsius rack workstation with a Xeon quad-core CPU and 8GB RAM at the moment, which will be expanded. So it's a dedicated server, well, a virtual machine and a dedicated server. And if Home Assistant needs more resources down the line, it can have them because there's lots to spare.
Yeah, well, I think I've been talking with Frank a lot, and we have seen the transition that Home Assistant has been making, and they're trying to make it lighter and lighter and easier and quicker. So I think resource-wise, you should be safe on that side. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think so too, but there are some extensions which are a bit more resource unfriendly, I'd say. I've not tried the VS Code extension yet, but I will be. And I know from experience that the more CPU horsepower you have, the faster your applications compile. So I was thinking stuff like that will hugely benefit from the dedicated server as well.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Yeah, that's actually a good point. You could maybe ask the guy who wrote the add-on. So
wasn't that Frank?
Yeah. So maybe he would know. He would know if actually it helps compiling stuff down the road.
I think if there's no Docker, like limitations, it should work.
Yep, that's the thing. And what have you automated already, and what do you intend to automate?
I've removed some of them because I have changed devices, but I have automated nearly all the ceiling lights in the flats. Thanks for Modulate. I have automated nearly all the ceiling lights in the flats except for the bathroom and the hallways. I have automated LEDs, which means LEDs above my bed, below my bed, under a decorative shelf in the office behind the computer. I have automated, that's a big one that I'm actually really happy about. When I turn my computer on, it takes a minute for all my screens and the rest of my gear to turn on. Because what I've done is Home Assistant will check if my computer is on with the network. So and I think I'm using Nmap for that. And if the computer is on, the Sonoff that I'm using to turn on and off the extension cord for the screens will turn on. And if the computer is off, within at most 1 minute, all my screens will turn off. So that is, for me, my most, I'd say at the moment, important automation, because that one actually saves a lot of electricity. What I've also done is automate my TV wall, so the plug for that, so that I can just turn everything off when I leave the house. I am planning on automating the TV because I got a new TV with Android TV, so that's gonna be a lot easier than you're
gonna use ADB, the ADB add-on.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the ADB add-on for that. But I think there's also a native Philips add-on because it's a Philips TV, but there's also a third-party Philips add-on for that. But yeah, I'm gonna be using the ADB component. I can also already use Alexa because Philips has an Alexa. I've triggered them all now. Philips has an Alexa component for skill, and I will be automating my AV receiver, and I'm working on automating. I triggered mine as well. I'm working on automating my air conditioning as well. I had it automated already, but then my Brooklyn broke and I didn't feel like spending another 40 euros. So I got this thing from AliExpress. I think I paid 8 euros for it, but it arrived with a broken ESP module, but I just changed it myself. And I'm currently working on getting this motor to correctly work with the codes I need for the air conditioner. And what else am I working on? My mom got a new, like, what do you call them in English? Like cupboard where you put all the glass in there. That has lights. I'm working on automating those. I am working on like a sort of alarm system that's RF based mostly. And there's not that much progress on that front. But another one that I forgot that's actually pretty big is my automated blinds. I already have automated blinds in the office, aka my sister's room, which are just like these Venetian blinds that you can tilt. And I used what's it called again? Not a stepper motor, the other one.
The servo.
Yes, I used a servo motor, and I just connected that to a self-made PCB, which in hindsight isn't a very good PCB, but it does the job to tilt those blinds. But for my bedroom, which we are in right now, I want to be able to turn these up and down. I already have the sketch working. I'm now working on actually finishing a PCB that works because I've already made one and I ordered it. But it's not working that well without running 50 baud wires. So that's, yeah, for the blinds. I've got a sketch working that checks if an end stop is hit, so it stops if it's too high, so it doesn't break itself. And if the electricity goes off, so if the ESP12 is the module I'm using, if that loses power, no matter what action you try to do, it always resets to that end stop to reset its position so it knows where it's at. And a friend helped me to get the code ready, so if I say set it to 50%, it's automatically that no matter what the length of your blinds, you only measure it once you put it in the sketch. I'm working to get that working with Wiper Manager, but you put it in the sketch, and it doesn't matter how long you put the blinds. 50% always goes to 50%, so half. It calculates it automatically.
Yes,
I'm working on that.
Since it goes down all the way and then it goes up, so it knows its position, its travel time, and based on that, it will go to 50%.
Not quite. What I'm doing is, the first time I let it go up all the way, then I tell it to go down, then I manually tell it to stop.
Ah, okay.
And the stop position is the maximum length.
Okay. And so we've had questions in the chat.
Yes.
First of all, there is Remodulate, which you seem to know.
Yes.
And there's Letnik, who has had a question, Letnik12. And he asked, what can this IR blaster with ESP8266 call? So what do you trigger right now with this IR blaster?
At the moment, nothing, because I got it yesterday and I'm trying to get the sketch working. But I am hoping to put one in every room that has infrared devices, so it should in the future be able to control my air conditioning, control my AV receiver, control the TV in a limited fashion, because sometimes the AGB debugger on the TV crashes, so you can't turn it on anymore with the debugger, but you can still use the infrared remote for that. I am hoping, what else? The Xbox you can theoretically control with it, my CD player, and just in case, Letnik meant what it is called it's a Geek-Link IR blaster. It's just Geek-Link, that's the name of it, in case that's what they meant as well. It's, oops, wait, I dropped it. Hutch drop tips. It's It comes in this case.
It comes in its
so-
own case, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
just disassembled it to make it easier.
Yeah. So it's a closed box, and you can just put it on
It's
your
not
shelf, and yeah.
It's not just the PCB.
Okay.
Fortunately, because I made my own PCB for an infrared blaster, but I made a mistake, so it's not working. Let's not talk about that. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yes, Remodulator, you will eventually be getting a prototype of everything I make as soon as these things actually work.
So Remodulate. So
Yeah.
How do you know each other's?
I met him on one of Frank's streams.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember how we started talking, but we did start talking. And then he followed me on Twitter, and I told him about all the gear I had, and I made him jealous. So that's how we met. Envy.
Okay. And so we've talked a bit about what you currently want to do and what you currently have. Are there bigger projects you would like to do with Home Assistant? Is there something you are missing in Home Assistant, maybe? Since that's a thing. Nice enclosure in Link. So let me ask, that's a nice enclosure. Is it in Link?
No, it's a Geek Link. So it's just the word Geek and Link, and it's just an IR blaster. You can find it on AliExpress, probably eBay as well. And it comes like this. And it's, I think, €8, €8 or €9. Just make sure it actually works. It can find the Wi-Fi, because mine, like the ESP module on it, was defective. So it could start, but it could not create a Wi-Fi or log into a Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's basically it.
So could you by any chance send a link in the stream?
I wasn't sure if I was allowed.
Yeah, you are allowed, since
okay, let me check.
I still have no bot running, so everybody can do whatever they want.
It's actually €11. I thought it was 8.
Oh.
It's still pretty cheap.
Yeah, compared to Harmony, it's cheap and
Yeah, it only does infrared, it doesn't do RF, but for RF I got the Son-off bridge, and that's actually been working really well. A tip for everyone that wants to use the Son-off bridge to send signals, like send specific signals that are not saved on the bridge. So send a signal via MQTT, like the signal itself. Use the backlog command. I had to look for it for ages.
Okay, so let's get back to subject. So I was asking you, are there any changes you would like to see in Home Assistant? Big improvements, regressions? We've had now with the, what is it called, Ingress coming to, which has been added to Home Assistant. Did you encounter any issues?
I've not tried Ingress yet, because I am not yet comfortable with the idea of opening up my home automation suite to the outside. So whenever I need to do anything from abroad, from outside the house, I use a VPN to log into my home network. So I've not used Ingress yet. I do have the Home Assistant Cloud. I've tested and tried the remote access thing, but I've deactivated it again.
You can use Ingress also internally. That's the sweet thing.
Oh.
Yeah. So you don't need to open it up. Ingress will keep the port 8123. So the only thing is, you won't have to enter any passwords in applications that use Ingress. So for instance, Node-RED, which you had to authenticate at first. Now you will have Node-RED, click on it. For now you will have to use the Has.io panel, go on the add-on, and then open Web UI, and it will open in the Has.io panel. You will have the Node-RED opening up, and you will be able to you will have Node-RED without authentication needed. So internally it's quite practical. You don't have to open it up on the outside. What is also sweet, and what is coming, Pascal has been telling us this during Frank's stream, and it's actually also in the release notes for 091. There will, or 91.3 or 4, I think there was a blog post about it. So there will be a button added on the add-on panel for each add-on to add it automatically on the panel iframe, on the quick links. Since these tend to break right now, it's known. It's not an issue. It's like it takes its time. They gave us ingress. It's nice. It works, but it broke the panel iframe. But you don't really need it, since you can do it using the House.io panel and click on the add-on and click Open UI. So
yeah,
and like I said, starting House.io 0.92.0, so that will be the next version, the next big version. We should have a link to a button to click, and it would automatically add it to the panel on the left-hand side.
that sounds really useful, actually. I must have misunderstood what Ingress is, because I thought it was only to access
Nabucasa.
your add-ons from external.
Well, no.
networks.
Well, the funny part is actually Ingress at first didn't work at all like this. Ingress was just for Home Assistant.
Okay.
So Ingress was actually just for Nabucasa and allowing you to access your Home Assistant instance from the outside.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Exactly. So that's the thing, that the add-ons were never planned at first, and then slowly Pascal did some work on the backend side, and Frank did some work, and they suddenly, with everything what was going on with Bash.io and everything, they found a way to do it for the add-ons, and most of the add-ons will have Ingress support if the add-ons support it. That's also a thing. So multi-user add-ons like Grafana could be complicated.
Yeah.
But
Grafana's complicated on its own already.
yeah. So wait, just a second. Let me keep up on the chat. So I opened mine.
Yeah.
With my own SSL certificate. So Remodulate opened his without using Nabucasa, but he's using his own SSL certificate. More costs is more costs. Gotta try to keep them down, as that's the point of being a thinker, right? I would love to learn Node-RED though. If you have a good network, opening SIO won't matter too much. I have my SIO on a completely separate subnet, and it supports IoT device subnet. However, this recent announcement of the Android native app can't wait. So Remodulate, as I understand, for now you're not using Nabucasa currently. Is that correct? The thing I'd like to put emphasis on people is, it's not forcing them, but encouraging them to use, or at least pay the $5 for Nabucasa. It will $50 or $60 a year for a thing you use every day, and you support development on it. That's the approach I have. So I have been paying €5 from the first day on, just to say, okay, Home Assistant is really nice. It's, let's say, for free. People are spending their free time on it, to work on it, to develop stuff. So that's my way to thank them and to pay them back. I'm also a Patreon for Frank, since I really enjoy his add-ons, and I would like him to keep up the good work. So I am a patron for Frank. I'm a patron for Otto, who is doing the ESP home stuff.
Yeah.
He has a Patreon, so I've been paying him a little bit, let's say. So wherever I can, I think it's nice to give something back, since these people are spending free time. Their free time is going on in development for the public, let's say it this way.
I agree, but I also agree with Remodulate. It really depends on how much you have to spare.
No, that's a good point. So I say, if you can afford it,
Yeah.
why not? So think about it. It's a good way to thank the guys. Yeah, I agree, but you can be a patron for this folks instead. The money you pay in Nabucasa is just for that development. Yes, it's so Pascal is on the Nabucasa payroll, and Pascal has been developing all the House.io stuff. So Hasayo has been becoming quicker on Node on Pi 3s and by Pi 2s. I think everything that's 64-bit has been quicker, and all that work has been done by Pascal. And Pascal can now work on all that stuff. Ingress has been done by Pascal. Hasayo Ingress, making Hasayo quicker. So Home Assistant as well, but mostly Hasayo quicker. There's a lot of work, and that's where Pascal is doing it full time. And we have also Paulus, but Paulus is also doing some development, but I don't know on what side. I will try to have him on a stream, and he will tell us a little bit about him and the way Home Assistant will go in future, and what he expects from Home Assistant. So yeah, keep tuned for that one. Yeah. What about your accent? You seem to have a quite good British accent. Tell us a little bit about it.
That is simple but also complicated. The simple version is my partner's British, so I've just gotten used to speaking this way because I have been hearing it this way for years now. 3 years actually. More complicated version, I've always liked English. I started learning English before we started learning it in school as well, which is quite late in Luxembourg. In the beginning, I had a very strong Luxembourgish accent, I'd say. Then a tiny bit American because of the TV shows. And now I've hopefully settled on this fake British one.
Yeah, you can hear a little bit, but I think it's better than mine anyway, so won't talk about that.
Don't put yourself down like that.
No, wait, hold on a second. I have to close the window.
Yes. How do I entertain the chat while he closes the window? Advanced part of being able to manage your network. Yeah, that is true. I mean, I have a level 3 switch. I think Remodulate, I've shown you that one. I've just been way too lazy to actually set it up properly because, yes, Hutch, I can see you, because it's so much work to set it up properly because you need an adapter and here and there and ugh. So at the moment, my main router is just a Ubiquiti Edge Router X with a Unify access point, which I'm also using the Hasayo add-on for. I just wish there was a UNMS, Ubiquiti Network Management System add-on, but I don't think that will be coming because the actual network management system is already a Docker container, so I don't know how that would work. It crashes a lot as well if you stop it, and then if the computer that it's running on shuts down without the container properly stopping, you cannot start it again. What's that all about?
About containers, I don't know if you know how Home Assistant works and how Hasayo works.
It runs on Docker, that's what I know, so every add-on has its own Docker container.
Exactly. So if there's a container for it, there could potentially be an add-on for it.
Yeah, that's true as well.
That's true. The issue is, though, if it's an unstable container, Frank just says keep the hands off it, and if it's not properly maintained, the sweet thing about add-ons, and that's what people tend to not understand, is actually it runs. They run. They are going to run on your system, and that's the thing people sometimes don't get. It's like it's a Docker container, but it's tailored for Home Assistant, for Hasayo.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
That actually brings me to a point you asked before, what I would wish Home Assistant added or whatever. One thing, it's network related, that I would really look forward to is to be able to give Hasayo add-ons, so basically Docker containers, their own IP addresses, so more advanced network capabilities, I'd say, more advanced networking settings for Hasayo add-ons, because I'd love to just give certain services their own IP addresses, because, I don't know, like, I prefer it for some reason. I cannot tell you why. It's just, I know it is technically possible with Portainer, but I've never actually been able to do it. I think it's possible with Portainer anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't have the knowledge on that side, so I can't help you. So what you can do is maybe contact Frank and kindly ask his opinion on it.
I will.
The thing about what I tell people is ask something kindly and with respect. Don't demand anything.
Yeah.
That's the thing people should also learn. It's not about demanding, it's about asking why this, why like this, and getting an idea why he has been doing it like his way. He has his way of thinking and it works. So
yeah,
that's the thing.
I also always say be respectful or don't ask at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that is a topic that I could talk for hours about, but I won't.
So would you like to show us a little bit of your Home Assistant setup?
Yes, I can do that. I've been playing with the wire for the infrared blaster. I will do that. It's a bit, let's say, broken.
Wait, let me share what. Let me move.
Yeah, I just got it ready. It mostly works, but there's things here and there that I'm currently working on. Most of the stuff broke when my Broadlink Arm Pro broke. So basically, I have this tile that shows me who's currently home, which I look at by who's in the Wi-Fi. I plan on expanding that with not just the Wi-Fi, but also like which TV is on. So if my sister's TV is on, but her phone is not on the Wi-Fi, chances are she is at home.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah, so that's
and
nice.
The TV has Wi-Fi. We don't use the smart capabilities like the Netflix stuff on that because it's really slow, but the network connection is there. That's air quality because I have really strong asthma and stuff like that, and my lungs are a bit not the greatest anymore. So I use this. It's currently broken as well. It broke last night for some reason. It's currently it measures the air quality when I have to go to school, so I know if I should take medication with me or not.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, before I go outside, I check what the air quality is, and then I know what to do because I'll just stop gasping for air otherwise. Here I've got everything that's in these areas as well, but like quick settings.
Wait,
so I can turn.
Where is that? I can't see your mouse.
Oh.
Wait, maybe I have to enable something in screen viewer. In what is it called?
I'll see if I have to enable a setting.
View. So view. Show session in tabs. No. Hide wallpaper. Show remote cursor. There you go.
Okay. Give me a second. I need to find my tab again. So this is basically just an overview of all the things. If you're wondering where I'm looking at the TV. So I can turn off the lights and that. I can see the temperature, which is calculated out of, I think 3, depends on the room and how many radiators it has. 3 different temperature sensors. I have a little shopping list that we've not used yet. The weather, obviously, and our vacuum cleaner, which is godsend. Honestly, it helps with allergies as well. I've got that alarm. Mm-hmm.
What is your vacuum cleaner?
It's a... I know it's technically Xiaomi, but it's a Roborock S50. It's...
Okay, so you have an S50. What about the mapping functionality? Are you using it?
Not in Home Assistant. I use it in the app. I've not gotten around to testing it. I've not booted it yet. Nothing.
So I'm trying to convince my wife to get one, but we have 2 really cheapo vacuums. Like I think they were like $75, and you have to plug them you have to plug them in to charge.
Yeah.
But in the end, you have to take them to empty them. So while you are emptying them, you can also plug them to charge. That's why we never really were interested in buying something fully automated. The other thing is actually, since they are not fully automated, they are just dumb randomly running vacuum cleaners. What I like is they're really thin, and so they can drive under the couch.
Yeah, and under the bed as well.
And the funny
That's a
thing,
big one
and,
for me.
and the most interesting part is that was actually criteria when we bought the couch. So can the vacuum go under the couch? Since when we are vacuuming with the vacuuming, it won't. So we won't be able. We are not able to go under the couch.
Yeah.
But this little fella is really able to go under the couch, and we're talking about millimeters. So I think it's 1-2 millimeters, and it could get stuck. So, but we are lucky and it didn't yet.
I honestly can only recommend the Roborock because my mother didn't want to get one either because we shared the cost because I still live at home. And I told her, well, I'll pay half, so if it's not good, you'll at least not be out of 350 euros completely. So I actually pro tip for anyone that wants to get it a bit cheaper. It's 500 euros on Amazon, at least in like Germany, Luxembourg, these countries. If you get it on AliExpress,
you can get it for 350. I found it today.
Yeah, that's what we did, and it shipped from France, so we didn't have to pay import taxes either.
Yeah.
And it's really good for my allergies as well because I've got a severe dust allergy as well. I've got all the allergies basically.
Links. Remodulate one of its links.
I will soon. Where was I? Yeah, the vacuum cleaner. I've got 2 people to buy them now, and they're all happy with it because it's the suction is really good on it. That sounds really lewd, but I didn't mean it that way. It gets all the dust, it gets all the dirt, it gets some of the cat litter as well, which is like tiny rocks, so it's a bit harder to vacuum up. And it gets under the bed, it gets under a couch. We're really happy with it. Yeah.
Remodulate turd.
Yeah, he says that he's now the 3rd person that I convinced to buy one.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, yeah. So, about your shopping list, have you heard about an add-on which is on Edge right now that is called Grossy?
No. Not yet.
So, it's actually a sweet thing, but I don't know if you could use it for your living situation, living with your mother or living in a flat. But the good thing is actually it's it's Grossy. It's like a grocery list, and it even has inventory of all you have, all you use.
Oh.
Well, you have to do it yourself, so you have to scan your
obviously.
barcodes, you have to enter what you've used. But the nice thing is, based on what you have in your closet, in your what you call it, in your cupboard exactly, you can have receipts. So it can have receipts. You can have your weekly home tasks like cleaning schedules, battery changing schedules, air filters for the HVAC changing schedules. So it's a nice thing. It's currently on Edge for tests, and it could drop quite soon on public, so on production, on stable, and you will be able to use it. So the thing about Edge is I refrained from using it, since once you're using Edge, you will for now lose Ian, Trish. I plan to add Grossy Lovelace support once the add-on goes to prod. So there will be also a Lovelace card for Grossy.
Oh, that sounds really good.
And Ian has had, if you have seen Ian's latest stuff, he has done some nice cards for Home Assistant, for Lovelace. Ian, would you please share some links for the most recent cards you have created? I think they're really nice. They're really, really sweet. They're really good. And
I do have to admit that I've not been working on Home Assistant for a bit now. I started last week or so to start working on it again, so I'm a bit behind the curve.
So, okay, how long did you miss working on it? So how long did you...
2 months.
2 months. So
yeah.
In 2 months, did it change much?
It depends. I've had to fix some stuff that I did wrong, but Home Assistant just accepted, and now it's a bit more strict. I think it was.
Yeah, it will be. It will get even stricter every time.
Which I think is a good thing.
it's a good thing. There are some people complaining about it, like, yeah, it's breaking stuff, but on the other hand, that's the price to pay. Sometimes, if you want to improve, that's the thing. It's like you get a car and it updates by itself, but
Yeah.
they could just not update and stay the current state and miss out all the nice things, and at some point it won't just work anymore. So they have to accept that improvement comes at a price.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and they don't. They just don't do it.
Well, people have their own ways of thinking about things, and I think it's fine if you want to criticize the move of making things stricter, but do it in a way, again, that is respectful and say why. Don't just say, oh, I don't like it because it's stupid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just say, oh, I don't like it because I wasn't able to fix it for a while, so I don't know, my wife was mad at me because nothing was working. Something like that. Like, if it's the case, obviously don't just lie. But I think all of them were really quick fixes. It was nothing that took more than 10 minutes to fix. So
yeah, that's the thing. And yeah, well, the thing they could do is actually I think I've replied to to Frank's most recent tweet where he was a bit upset, or where he just said, guys, be careful when you blame developers or whatever. They might want to wait.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
So the thing is, we could start, or so they could, since I'm not part of them, but let's say we, the community, could start adding a button to say, okay, by updating, you will agree that stuff will break, or by checking this box, you will agree that developments come at a price, and you will have to, it will be okay, and then create another click box, and you create another checkbox, and just make it foolproof, at some idiot will complain anyway.
I personally think if you use something like Home Assistant, which is a community project, you should know that things can break left and right. It's anytime you do an update, things can break, and I think to complain that an update isn't working properly, that is one of my unpopular opinions. When people say, well, this Windows update broke stuff, I'm like, I don't know. It depends on the programs you've been using. If it's Windows functions that break, that's a bit dodgy. But if it's a program that's not working anymore, a lot of the times it was like antivirus stuff recently, it was using wrong API calls. Like, it's not always the manufacturer of the underlying system's fault.
Yeah,
Like
that's the thing. Yeah. That's why, let's say, Apple has been working on a walled garden, so they have their own things and they monitor everything. And that's why, and still stuff breaks for them. So, you know, stuff breaks.
Stuff breaks. 2019.
Yeah. So yeah, but even Boeing, they have airplanes, and they fucked up big time. So, no matter what, so you are studying computer science, and what direction are you going? Hopefully. So what direction would you like to go?
I honestly do not know yet. I know I want to study something with computers. And if I just study classic informatics, the maths level will be a lot harder than if I go to computers. That's the way I've been told. It would be a lot harder than if I go into computer sciences. I personally am more interested in automation and problem solving and stuff like that. But I also have an interest in hardware, so I cannot say which part of it will interest me the most. I'm just hoping to get in and to have fun doing it.
Yeah, that's it. So show us a little bit more. You have living area, you have Ken's room, you have your sister's room, the bathroom, the office, and lots of other stuff. So tell us a little bit more about your...
So this was a custom alarm panel thingy that's not working anymore. I think I have to update it. That's a project for another day. The living area is basically just the thermostat. The living room lights and the kitchen lights, I've put them all in one because it's basically one massive room that's just closed by like a meter of wall.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual door between those rooms is like 3 meters. This I just have to change. I've not updated the configuration for this yet. Actually, for the radiators, because I obviously there's a thermostat. This is mostly interesting for Europeans. There's this company, Homematic. Most of the people watching or whatever, they've probably heard of it. They can be quite pricey and also quite, I'll say, quirky when it comes to using their products in this fashion. But the older product line, the Max radiator valves and stuff like that, they work really well. And if you build your own cube thingy, you can really easily integrate it into Home Assistant. So that's what I've been using. So every wall thermostat, I have a thermostat in every room, and every radiator valve, which are two behind me, they report the temperature. So I use a mean temperature. The one in the living area is set to 23 degrees. It's currently, no, it's set to, what is it set to, 90? I never know. Yeah, it's set to 19 degrees, but it's currently 23 degrees, which is partly due to one of the thermostats being in the kitchen where somebody probably just made food. Yeah, that's one of those things. That is why I'm also using the mean temperature, because this only reports the temperature from the thermostat itself. The mean temperature, as we will see in another one of the Lovelace tabs, is a lot more accurate. This is my room. Lots of stuff broken. See, this is still the temperature only from the thermostat. Why is it still broken here? See, this is why we cannot have nice things, because I forget to fix them. Yeah, the entertainment center, which is my TV and everything like that, I can, like, from the very first cut, in the ceiling lights off and on, and the LEDs as well, the bed lights, reading lights, and all the LEDs. I've got some scenes hooked up, which was cinema mode, which ideally, when the blinds are finished, it closes all the blinds. It turns the TV off. It turns the TV on, the AV receiver. It turns mood lighting on, so some of the LEDs, and it turns all the lights off. The same for listening to music. I've just got appropriate automations for different, let's say, situations I want. This is just for testing. This is me trying to get my air conditioning working again, which is also here, but it's not working yet because I am taking years to fix things. Actually, I now know why the temperature isn't working. I forgot to add them back into what's it called, the history. So here I can open and close my sister's blinds. I can turn her ceiling lights off. I can turn the PC lights on because the PC is in her room. The 3D printer will be moved to the little, I forgot what they're called here.
Wrench.
Wrench maintenance tab. Main PC accessories is if for some reason they don't turn on automatically, which has not happened so far. This is just for my 3D printer, so I can see how long it still has to print.
Oh yeah, that's the percentage on the print itself.
Yeah,
you will know how far it is.
Yeah, it's really handy, especially the temperature as well, when I have to preheat it. The climate thingy, I don't know why that's not working. Oh no, actually I do. I need to re-add them. Because recently I reinstalled the server, so all of the configurations were gone, so that's a thing that happened. The bathroom is the only one that's actually working properly. So there you see the thermostat says 24, but the thermostat plus both of the other radiator valves, I need to remove this, both of the other radiator valves combined say 23.8, which actually does make a difference. Because if the difference is less than 0.1 degree, the radiator does not turn on. So that's what I'm using that for. This one is empty because I moved all of it to this because my sister moved back home. But I will be moving all the PC stuff back to office. The wrench is just basically everything that's maintenance, everything that does not need to be exposed in the specific rooms. So it's stuff that I like to see, that is cool to see. But not everybody needs to see it constantly. That's also why it's got no text. So that's the Pi-hole, which is currently not the main DNS server because I'm working on stuff. This was for my Epson printer, which I no longer have. And I'm trying to get it working with my Canon printer, but Cups is not being very cooperative, let's say it like that. So this used to show in percent exactly how much ink was left. This is the power consumption, which I plan on expanding massively, and I plan on actually using it to guesstimate our next power bill, because compared to Germany, power in Luxembourg is cheap. So I want to see how much of a difference it makes if you have certain stuff here versus there. And I also want to see, because I have actually noticed since using Home Assistant a decrease in our electricity bill, because some things just automatically turn off now. Because before, nobody of us would just unplug things. Now they just turn off automatically at the socket level. So there's no TVs in standby that don't need to be, because if the person whose room it is not at home, the sockets don't need to be on. There doesn't need to be any electricity. That actually made a big difference. What was it for my computer screens and my audio mixer alone? That was like €30 in an entire year that we saved, because it was 34 watts. And it also shows me the voltage, which where I live can be important, because we have had some, let's say, massive electricity problems in the past, but they've mostly fixed them now. This is just so I can... Yeah?
Are you aware that Luxembourg is installing smart meters? I don't know if you have already one.
Yeah, we have one.
So you have one, but you can't read them out currently. The funny part is there is a company working on a dongle to just put it in, and you will have to ask your Krios, your power, your power giving company. They will have to give you a key for each power meter. There is a key. They have it. They won't give it to you.
A physical key, or like?
No, it's a password. It's a hash. It's a hash you have to enter.
Okay.
In order to decrypt the data the smart meter is sending out. And they are working on a dongle to put it on MQTT, I think, and you will have to read it out. There is also a guy who has done another solution, and actually NextLab copied it, or they've been working with him. And there is a Luxembourgish guy who has been working also on Home Assistant, and who has done that stuff to read out, decrypt, decode, and have it on MQTT in order to being able to read it in Home Assistant. So you could theoretically have the smart meter readouts in your Home Assistant.
That sounds really useful. I know that Krios, they do their own little dongle that you can buy, or they told us they did. I don't know if we can actually buy it. They will in cooperation
with NextLab, but it's on let's say it's on alpha testing. So I have a colleague who has had one, and they have had issues setting it up. So it's based on ESP32.
Yeah.
That's it. It's an ESP32. It will be powered by the smart meter itself, and it will work. So that's
because actually I had an idea, but I decided not to go with it, to build one myself as well, because I actually found not the data sheet, but the pinout of the connector on the smart meter. I found the pinout of that, but I decided against it because I do not want to work on mains voltage, and I do not want to turn the power off when people need it.
So the thing is, you won't be working on mains voltage.
I know, it's just the connector, but our smart meter is in a cabinet downstairs. And let's just say it's not up to code. It's not the way you should do it. So there's like exposed metal, and there's actually like the main connection coming into the building is just right on there. So if you touch the wrong thing, it's not very nice.
So, are there any questions? Are there any questions on Ken? The chat has been quite quiet.
Yeah,
it's a shame. I was expecting people to ask more stuff.
I'm an open book. Ask away, people.
What could we ask? So there has been a question. It's best to let the energy companies to deal with that, if you ask me. Remote late, you haven't been living in Luxembourg.
Yeah.
Let's call it this way. Luxembourg is a quite special stuff. So it's quite complicated. Like, for instance, if you have solar panels on your roof in Luxembourg, you can't use the energy yourself. You have to sell it to the energy company and have to buy it back, and then only you can store it. So you can't use energy you are creating for your own usage. That won't work.
I didn't actually know that.
That won't work. No. You have to give it back to. And other thing
But
is,
you sell it to them, don't you?
You have
get
to
some money.
You have to sell it to them.
Yeah.
You get the money. It's actually good paid, and you can buy back electricity, and you will have it even cheaper, since you are actually a deliverer of energy. And the nice thing is, actually, if you have a big array on your roof, you will get a VAT number. Since you will be selling energy, so you will be a company.
I get where this is going. That does sound useful.
So,
Remodulators asking about smart plugs. I've been using Sonoffs, but I will be switching everything from DIY Sonoffs to some smart plugs on Amazon. I've seen the tech-in ones, which are ESP8266 based, which is what I want. I want to replace the firmware in all of them because I do not want firmware that constantly calls home. Otherwise, I've been using these RF ones for years.
I've been using GoSund ones.
We can't see them.
You should be able to see it now. Oh, no, you can't see it because I'm showing it to a different camera.
Oh, two different cameras I see
So
now.
there it is.
Yeah, that's similar to what I want.
Lol, a box of smart marks coming up. Yeah, exactly. So the thing is, these. Wait, just a second. Okay, so these plugs have been recommended by Quinn from Intermid Tech. He has a YouTube channel. He's also doing quite a lot of LED stuff. So Quinlet, he has also a LED channel. He has LED controllers, and these use, I don't know what they use, but they can be flashed over the air. And the thing they have is power monitoring.
That is what I want as well.
So these have power monitoring. The issue is they can still be flashed over the air, but the company doing that stuff got hold of it. They noticed that there was something wrong, and they patched a bug because it was actually a man in the middle attack. So they patched it. The people are trying to create a new exploit.
Yeah.
Not sure. The thing is, if you have to open them up and solder them, it will be a real pain in the butt, because I have messed up one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened. I just fried it, and I can't remember what I did. I couldn't access it anymore. It was dead. It wasn't doing anything anymore. So I had to open it up, and I had to solder cables. So I had to find the plans for it, start soldering stuff on the ESP chip directly, but it is misplaced, so you don't have 100% access to the pin, and that was really. It wasn't that easy, but still worth the hassle, since I have smart plugs that actually report power metering. You will hear I have ESP Home running on them.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, let's say, I like them because we now have linear filter for monitoring energy, and that's the thing.
Oh.
Yeah, so you actually can tune them quite precise, and I've been using them to monitor my my laundry dryer, my washing machine, my, what do you call it, your la vaisselle, dishwasher, my dishwasher, and my ventilation system. So we have a ventilation HVAC. It's running 24/7. And
oh, that's expensive.
Well, no, because it only uses 40 watt.
Oh, so it's not cooling.
No, it's not. No, it's not a HVAC. It's just a ventilation. So
Okay.
It's what do you call it? Double flux ventilation? So it's just crossing the incoming air with the
Yeah.
outgoing air to heat it up or to cool it down. And
Yeah, mine uses 700 watts, which is why I only use it in the summer.
yeah, okay, that's cooling then also, yeah.
Yeah.
So wait. So just let me keep up with the chat. Remodulate has been spamming us. That's a good thing actually, no. So yeah, a Lola box of smart comps. Oh yeah, we need a plug that you can plug and flash. The only variable are ones are software, I believe, but these are not traditional plugs. See, I want to monitor the energy on my PCs. Use exactly that. So what's being talked? So the Skyfire, what's being talked? I'm new. Frank had written his bathroom up with us. Why his bathroom up with some works well. Random stuff, I think. What's the son of the Skyfry asks? The Skyfry.
Should I go or do you want to?
Excuse me.
Should I try to
Go
explain?
ahead. Try. Go ahead.
It's basically just a device you can buy. It is based on the microcontroller, which is very loved in the Tinkerer community, that I'd say. And most of the ones that most people use, I'd say, is the one where you have to cut the wires and plug them in yourself. But a Sonoff is basically, let's say, a smart plug without the plug pod. I think
Yeah, that's
accurate.
It's actually a relay. You can
Yeah.
really control. Yeah, never mind.
No, it is a relay that you can control. That is correct.
Yeah. So...
And why it is so, it is liked because you can change your software on it and you can customize it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he can.
I don't think that's very healthy to do, but okay.
Yeah, well, if you'd like to, you can do it, permalit pooper. Do whatever you'd like to.
Oh dear.
Just hold on a second, so I'll be right back.
I mean, nobody's stopping anyone from doing it, but I wouldn't.
No, you could. Yeah, you could permalit pooper. If you'd like to, you can do it. You could fuck off. Yeah, exactly.
Order one and try it. Let us know how it went.
Yeah.
But don't forget to plug it in first.
So...
Actually, I shouldn't say that.
Never mind. Dude, on the bottom, I see a bunch of motherboards, etc. Any tips on the first PC build? So,
oh dear. The motherboards are mostly from broken. Well, I don't actually know if all of them were broken. They're just for decoration, but tips for PC build of check for compatibility. I know it's a no-brainer, but something like RAM compatibility is really important because depending on what RAM you buy, it will not work properly. That is one thing that no one I know actually ever checks, because most of the time it works. Most of the time you can just use any RAM you want. But I have actually had problems where the RAM I bought weren't completely compatible. And also, do not go with a cheap power supply. Go with a brand one first. And go with one that's not too cheap. And oversized rather than undersized. So if you do not know if you will actually be using that much wattage that the power supply can provide, still go with the higher one just in case you want a different graphics card or you want to add more RAM or upgrade your CPU. It will save you cost down the line. And CPU wise, I've been out of the game for a while now. I would go with a Ryzen build because you can get stuff a lot cheaper for, I'd say, a small performance penalty. And yeah, that's why I would go Ryzen. And for graphics cards, don't buy the newest generation. I just always advise against buying the newest things. I'd go with, let's say, GTX 1060 or something like that. That's usually not a problem. And because if you go with the newest generation, it's usually really expensive compared to how much more performance you get with the newer things. Yeah, RAM-wise, I wouldn't go under 16 gigabytes just because Chrome. for example. And if you do not know if your mother or if sound quality is important to you, go depending on what motherboard you get. You have a nice onboard sound chip, but if it's a cheaper motherboard, go with a dedicated sound card because it will give you lots more options down the line, and it will also sound noticeably better because with the integrated sound cards, you can sometimes have, I don't know if it's electromagnetic interference, but it is interference and you can actually hear it. It's like a very high pitched noise. And I have that problem with my main computer, for example. Does that answer your question? Skyfry, I think, asked. Oh yeah, and for your first PC build, ground yourself, because depending on your skin moisture, you will fry components. You will kill things. Do not build on the. I know it's. Let's say it's kind of obvious, but do not build on a carpet. Build on a tile floor or build on a table. Don't do it on a carpet. Also, don't rub your feet on the carpet because you will build up static electricity. And test it out of the case first. Put your CPU in, put the heatsink on, put the RAM in, put the graphics card in, and see if it actually turns on. So before you put it in the case.
Have you had anything fry because of electrostatic?
Me personally not, but my family always says it's because I've been cursed when I was a child because I caused my first power outage when I was 6 or something. Yes, install the IO shield first. That is very important. I have had to disassemble many computers because of that. To get back to the question, I personally have not killed anything yet, but I know people that have. No, yeah, I've not killed anything yet. I know people that have killed lots of components by walking on their carpet barefoot and then touching anything while putting it into computer. It's something you can. What's the word again? You can. I don't know the word in English right now. It's something you can try to avoid. So just avoid it.
Ian Tritch, I like to live dangerous. I always do PC builds in the swimming pool. That way it's water cooled, he said.
I mean, one thing, water cooling sounds nice and fun, but go with a high quality air cooler because I went with water cooling and now years down the line, some of the water has evaporated, even with the tubes, but they are kind of porous. And depending on how you mount it, it doesn't cool anymore because there's nothing to pump anymore. There's not enough water in it anymore, so I'd go with a nice air cooler. Yeah, the mineral oil one is kind of cool, but it is a mess to clean, and it is also a mess to add stuff to it.
Water cooled seems too much.
I'd say it depends. If an air cooler doesn't give you enough surface area, if your CPU just runs too hot, you could go with a radiator that's triple fan. I've seen quadruple fan ones as well. And I'm not talking double-sided, I'm talking one side. That would make a difference, I'd say, but personally, I wouldn't do it anymore. It also doesn't, even at least with the water cooler that I have, it's not quieter, it's actually louder because the pump makes noise.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the vibrations, they are very audible. The fans are a lot quieter, but now the pump's loud.
So, I think we made the round. So you've been using Pi-hole. I'm just looking at your configuration.
Oh yeah.
So the thing I noticed is, what happened? I just
with all the broken stuff.
I just no. I just lost everything. Just a second.
Oh.
There you are again. There you are again. So Should I go RGB? Probably poop, I don't know. Let's play a game.
I wouldn't do it in a computer. It's overkill. I have a glass case and I never look at it because it's inside my desk, so wasted money.
So the thing I noticed is the thing I wanted to ask you is who is using the Home Assistant?
Actually, everybody.
Web interface in your home. That's the thing I wanted to
know.
know.
The web interface. me, my partner, my mother sometimes to see the temperature, my sister sometimes only to set the temperature. But mostly they use Home Assistant through Nabucasa for their smart speakers.
Okay.
Yeah, as a backend, like that way, because they're the smart speaker as the front end. But the web interface is used, I'd say at least twice a day, which doesn't sound much, but it is a lot. Well, per person, I'm saying. So because you can, well, if it's working properly, you can also set the LED colors and stuff like that.
And so you are using voice assistants, is that correct?
Yeah.
Mostly. So everybody has its own voice assistant in its room, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have one in the living area, one in, well, the living area is also where my mom sleeps. One in my sister's room and one in my room, yeah. Actually, two in my room because of the Google Assistant and the TV, but I don't use... I've tried setting up Google Assistant with Nabucasa, but it doesn't find any devices and I don't know how to fix it. And at this point, I'm too lazy to fix it because I don't use it.
The Sky Fry. Let's play a game. You guys using Android, iPhone or Android? If it's working...
I'm using an Android phone.
So me using iPhone. That's...
Ew. Wait. Ew, iPhone.
Yeah, I'm using iPhone. I've been using iPhone all the time since the really first one came out.
That was ages ago.
I was
2007.
I was lucky to get one from the US imported.
Oh god, yeah, that thing.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah. So the iPhone 2G or whatever, what was it called? So I got it imported from the US. Yeah, that's the thing. And I've been using iPhones since ever.
I had an iPhone 4 when they came out because actually, at the time, from what I looked up in Luxembourg, it was the cheapest high-end smartphone you could buy with a contract. That's why I went with an iPhone 4. But I've actually had many problems with it, and I know it sounded kind of a cliche to say it, but Apple did downgrade the camera on that because they added filters for, in later iOS versions, they added filters for the newer phones, which were not compatible with the iPhone 4, so the camera was downgraded. I know why they did it, I just think they could have went around it somehow. And after that, that's one that people will judge me for, went Windows Phone, very hard. And I think I bought 3 or 4 until I gave up, because Microsoft just, pardon my French, but they fucked it up majorly, because they had a massive, let's say they had a massive opportunity, but they just ran it into the ground. And then I bought an S6 Edge because I loved the screen, and the battery on that was absolutely abysmal, so I went with an OnePlus 3, which was a downgrade in camera, but I don't feel the need to buy a new phone anymore. Like, it's not a high-end phone anymore, but I don't need a better one, so I'm just sticking with it until it breaks. It's a whole thing.
The Sky Fry has been asking where we guys are from.
Luxembourg, both of us.
Yeah, that was a lucky... I don't know how we met actually, but yeah, both of us are from Luxembourg.
Because it was a Home Assistant tweet, and I think I posted my configuration and you commented, or the other way around.
Yeah, it could
I remember
be.
which way
I don't remember.
Yeah, it
which
was
way
something like that.
So
also, Ian said, if it's working properly, Ruffle, I know that game. Tell me about it. It's the worst. Like, I have that philosophy with everything. I order PCBs and then I'm like, well, if it works, it works. And then they don't. So.
For push out, so Remodulate said he's looking forward to the native Android app for push notification actions. Yeah, so that will be, I think, nice for people using Android.
Yeah.
So you can use web notifications, HTML5 and everything, but I think natively it will be easier since you will be able to have actionable notifications, and that will be nice.
Yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to as well, because I don't want to use too many third-party... not add-ons, but add-ons where I have to make an account on a third-party website just for tracking or stuff like that. So tracking is one big thing that I'm looking forward to doing the Android app, because what I've been doing in the past, I don't remember what it's called, but I've been using this GPS tracker that in the summer it turns the air conditioning on half an hour before I get home.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking forward to be doing this the official way, I'll say.
So what have you been using? Own tracks?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
I forgot the name.
Screw you iPhone users. Nice lol. Typical iPhone user. No more iPhone users. That's my retirement you talking about, buddy. Yeah, Robert, he's being a stockholder on Apple, so he wants more iPhones.
And he's quite right when he says Microsoft is famous for almost there but not quite. It's so true. It's actually very, very painful. I invested so much in their ecosystem and they just killed everything.
Yeah, they just did. You know, the funny part is Edge is going to die as well. So, Edge, as we know it, will die. It will get a Chromium engine. So,
it's actually really good, the Chromium one. Also battery-wise, because Chrome just sucks up my battery so bad. But with Edge, I've been getting a lot more a lot longer battery life than with Chrome. That's just a small anecdote.
That being said, I do use Android myself, and I'm looking forward to a native app. Yep. So I hope Robbie will come out with it quite soon. So there's a release schedule on it. And knowing Robbie, it will be great. So there will be a release schedule on that. No, there is a release schedule with a beta and then an official version. And I think a lot of Android users will be happy with the solution, since they have been felt left out a bit. So that's a shame. Yeah, well. So you are using Android, and if you don't have an iPhone, go. Yeah. So whatever. Bad luck for you.
Yeah.
If you want to have a home assistant with all the nice things, it's free, but you have to have an iPhone. So.
Yeah, but you have to keep in mind that it's people doing this in their free time mostly.
Yeah. So because it takes a person to do it in their free time. That's what Ian said exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, one of the things I'm looking forward to with the Android app is I was initially planning to put very cheap Android tablets on the wall.
I know someone who did that.
Yeah, I'm planning on doing that, and with the Android app, I feel like it would work a lot better than if I used Chrome or whatever to do it, because I know on the Fire tablets from Amazon, the web browser is absolutely garbage, and I cannot get Home Assistant to work properly on it. And with the app, you can get proper notifications and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you can use streams.
Yeah, that is camera streams. That sounds really useful. I try to... Huh?
Yeah, I haven't played with it yet. So it came out I think 2 versions ago. Yeah.
I've not...
Yeah, with version 90 it came out. 91 you had camera stream for ESP Cam. So that's an ESP32 with a camera. I have one, haven't played with that one yet. And you have camera streams, which can pop up actually on your iPhone, on your devices, on your smart devices, and even on your smart TV. So let's say there has been on the blog of Home Assistant, there has been a post about it. They were watching a movie and there was a movement detection from a camera, and they actually just the TV show switched to the camera. They saw the guy in the garage, and Alexa, the smart home device, whatever it was called, just said there's an intruder in the garage. So that's quite interesting. So if you're watching TV, it will show you the stream where there's movement. The thing is, though, with false positives, you will get disturbed a lot.
Yeah, but I'd say that is something you can work out, like the false positives. But the smart TV one is actually, it sounds really useful. Now, if only we could get picture-in-picture working.
Yeah.
But that doesn't even work natively on my TV, even though it is supposed to according to the remote, but... Yeah. Yeah, Robert, no more holy walls, you are right.
Yeah, no more holy wars, that's what but iPhone takes so much longer to develop and get through the market.
iPhone was on such huge waste of energy. I think it will elevate their current market so much. I think the constant changes in HA is just amazing. Yeah, remotely, that's a point of view. There are people who are whining because there are too many changes in Home Assistant.
Yeah, I think I saw that. I saw someone talk about that on Twitter.
Yeah. So never mind. So
I will give my 2 cents to that. If you don't like it that it's being updated so frequently, why do you use it? It's a home automation suite. Of course, it's gonna get updated constantly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So they could also get a really paid product, and just see what they get for the price.
Yeah. And it's forcing anyone to update.
No.
You can just stay on an old version.
Yeah.
People.
On that note,
It's such a problem.
yeah, no one forces you to update either.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly.
Well, except Microsoft.
Yeah, well, you can disable updates by just firewalling them. Many people freeze their version. Yeah, many people freeze their version. And you know, the thing is, you can if you just do something smart with your smart home, like I would just say like weekly snapshots of your instance.
Yeah,
you could actually just roll back.
That is true. Which is, I do snapshots before every update as well.
So I have just snapshots running weekly. So I've
not gotten around to that yet.
Every Sunday morning at 3 a.m. I will be running a snapshot, and then in the morning at 6 a.m. I will back it up on my Synology disk station.
Okay.
So that
I should probably do something
that
like
dates
that.
that dates back to when I had SD cards frying all the time because I was just.
Oh yeah.
You know, we are running a database on an SD card, so it will fry. It will just.
I got
die.
around that by using a high endurance SD card that was actually meant for that, but it was expensive and I wouldn't do it again. It was when I was still using an Orange Pi Zero for Home Assistant, which was really not a good time, with 256 megabytes of RAM. Not very nice.
No. So many people freeze the version has to update just to keep it up with the market and what release their full as Home Assistant. Yeah, exactly. The amount of things it's compatible with, how they are done, it keep it current, just amazing. People who don't read breaking changes don't get to complain. By the way, I read GitHub PRs in between updates so that I have new jobs now, so it's hard to work on it as much, but I love coming home and working on it each time I read there is an update. Yeah, so I have started with Home Assistant like 2 years ago, almost. And I think I've been working on it every day almost. My wife isn't quite pleased with that since I have been working a lot on it, but honestly I would never go back. She has also been saying like, why are you getting voice assistants? And I said, let's just get one, let's just get two. And now she gets upset when they're not working.
Yeah, so, same in our place.
Your stupid whatever is not working. That's the thing. And then I just tell her, you didn't want them anyway, so what's the fuss all about? Just ignore them. Don't use them.
That reminds me of another thing that I did with Home Assistant that's currently not working, that I will be fixing because I flashed all my LED controllers. Above my bed, I have a little cupboard thing with LEDs. Mm-hmm. And in the morning, Home Assistant checks. In theory, it doesn't work anymore in practice because my phone changed something. It checks if the alarm on my phone is turned on. And only if the alarm on my phone has gone off, if it's ringing, Home Assistant will start slowly increasing the brightness in my room to wake me up slowly. It was working for a month before everything broke, but it was so nice. And it actually
That's a thing you can only do with Android devices.
Yeah, because it was using the intent of the alarm clock.
Exactly. iPhones
It's
won't
not
work.
working anymore.
No. But iPhones won't do that, since you don't have access to the alarm clock.
Yeah, but
You
you can
see-
still do it with an alarm that's in Home Assistant itself.
Yeah. That's the other thing. You can do it with an alarm that is in Home Assistant. So you can have Home Assistant linked to your calendar. Let's say work calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, you can do stuff like that.
I tend to not to buy device service unless there is an API or hack that allows me to get it into Home Assistant. But that's what I love.
No, I agree.
No, actually, Robert, I think that's now, since I've discovered Home Assistant, that's the main concern, I think.
It's that, or I check if, I check what microcontroller is in the device. Like with this thing, before I bought it, I knew the software was going to be garbage, but I made sure that it's ESP based so I can just flash the software myself.
Yeah.
So it's either I check if I can integrate it into Home Assistant immediately, or I check if I can put custom firmware on it. It's either of that.
Expo, and the one thing on my mind, API accent getting into HA.
I was actually planning on creating lots of PCBs and releasing them on GitHub with the according firmware, so that's like it's like a suite of home automation devices, but with school and everything, it's just development's just going way too slow, and I'm not the best programmer, so everything takes a bit. But I hope I can eventually get around to doing that, like the blinds thing, the other blinds, because they're two different devices that use it. And yeah, I was planning on having like an integrated suite that works the same way, so setup for every device is always the same.
Mm-hmm.
Just the specifics for the device, like if it's a light, if it's a blind, if it's another motor, stuff like that. Basically integrated in the way that ESP Home is integrated. I could probably do it with ESP Home now a lot easier than what I used to do.
Yeah,
I might actually give that a
that's the
try.
thing. I've been trying with Arduino and C++ and everything, and then came Otto along the way, just passing by, and then suddenly came ESP Home, and I was like, okay, what's the fuss all about ESP Home? Until I got to play around. Since I have no time to play around, I'm trying to constantly fix, improve stuff on my Home Assistant.
Yeah.
You just can't keep up. Like there are so many developments coming along, and there's
Yeah, that is true.
so many talented people working on Home Assistant there, that the rate, the updates are coming, and the nice things are coming, new stuff is coming. You just can't keep up with it all alone. So
Yeah, that is true.
there has been a turnaround, like I think it was like starting October last year, where I just started missing the pace. I just couldn't keep up with the pace. It
I
was
actually agree
having.
with that.
And so with Lovelace there was a big improvement, and there was also a fork, like there has been backend development, front-end development that has increased, and then now we have ESP Home that has been added. There's so much. There's so many and so much. That's really interesting. So
It is. I wish I could contribute more because I want to help. Because there's so many things that I want from Home Assistant, but I can't help create them. So that's how I sometimes feel bad, because I expect it, but I can't help it.
So
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the thing is, and Frank said, and you do any development, back end, front end? Would you like to learn some stuff? Would you like to play around? You could do, like Ian last time said, he's almost one of the only guys doing front end development.
Yeah.
And
props to you, by the way, because it looks really nice, Lovelace.
and so there have been guys coming up and helping Frank doing add-ons, because one of the mantras of Frank said, if you want, you have to do it yourself. Just do it yourself, or try doing it yourself, try creating it yourself. But he's also been saying, if you want to help, you can do documentation. So documentation is one of the most important things in Home Assistant, since
Yeah.
you've been using it all the time. And sometimes if you feel there's something missing, or there's an error, or something is wrongly explained, you could just go into GitHub, so into documentation, there's a
Mm-hmm.
button, you can click edit,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can modify it, and then you can just ask for merge, and Nicholas or Frank or somebody will review it, and then if they are agreeing with what you change, they will merge, and it will be in the documentation. You can
That's
even,
actually a good point.
so the thing is, I starting grocery pie package now. I both praise and curse Ian Tritch for his constant development. Robert, don't curse him, just praise him. Don't curse
That's
him.
one thing with the documentation. Lots of the time when I've had problems with setting up Home Assistant, it wasn't because the documentation in itself was bad, but because I couldn't understand it properly, because
Yeah.
I am one of those people that best understands if there's a concrete example.
Mhm.
So if the documentation is like perfect and it's like, okay, you have to do this and that, and I'm like, what? And if I have an example, I know exactly how to replicate it. So that's actually a really good point. I will try to put, well, some of the things where I was struggling, I'll try to put those in the documentation. That's a very good point. Like examples straight up how to do it.
Yeah, I curse him because I've lost entire weekend playing with his stuff. Well, Robert,
Loot.
don't play with his stuff. Just don't. Play with his
Yeah.
nice. Play with Lovelace as much as you want, but whatever. Do whatever you want.
Oh dear.
Needs to be a site for all sexual custom cards available, showing them off in real time.
What? I don't think there needs to be such a thing.
Sexual custom cards. Wow. But
Isn't that just Pornhub in a Lovelace card?
Oh,
I'm so confused.
this is derailing quite a lot.
Starts to feel like one of Frank's streams. I'm joking.
Why? Why? Because
Where's
they're
the
railed.
lipstick?
Where's the lipstick? Where are raids? No.
Actually, I have lipstick.
Showing them off in real
Lipstick
time,
somewhere.
but it. My chat is slower than. The custom cards are what I most like about Lovelace. Yeah, they are actually really nice, and if you have the custom updater,
Yeah.
perfect. It's an addiction. So until you break something, Robert, don't you? I love two birds. What is two birds?
Good question. Oh yeah, the stream needs to catch up before I can answer. How long have we been live now?
So, we have been streaming for longer than expected, actually. Let me check.
Yeah, it feels like it. Not in a bad way.
Just let me check about it. No, don't block me. Where is my dashboard? View dashboard. There you go. I have no clue.
It feels like over an hour.
Oh,
it is
1 hour
definitely over
41.
an hour. Oh yeah, that's a
So
lot longer.
almost 2 hours. So I think we will call it a night at the 2 hour mark.
Yeah.
So I've had a few brandies too, lads. Sorry, I envy your love for JavaScript at Robert Pitera. Lovely was a game changer for a guy like me who loves CSS and JavaScript. I'm finally able to make a J look like I want it. Yeah, that's the thing. Lovelace is really nice, but I just can't.
Yeah.
So I can't do CSS or JavaScript, and I
Yeah,
am
same.
I am the stupid dumb end user who just likes all the stuff, but I have no clue how that works. Yeah, remote light. I'd love to do that too. So the only thing you can do is
Yeah.
start learning it and try slowly.
Yeah, but learning is so exhausting. I'm joking.
But so you've learned how to use Home Assistant and to configure it.
Yeah, just do what I do, pretend to know things about computers by putting motherboards all over your wall. Just make people believe. Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till let the power of control at your hands using JavaScript and what you can do with it. So the nice thing is actually who is it? Thomas Loven. He has been doing also a lot of cards and also custom cards, and he has some custom cards that are really nice. He has one which you can use to customize your Lovelace appearance.
What do you mean?
Well, Dr. Z's was showing it off in one of his streams, which Thomas Connect also. Thomas was on his stream and he said just install it. And Dr. Zeus installed it and he could just on the fly, like it was a card. You can open it up and just say background color brown and it changed the background color for the whole UI.
Really useful.
And there's also in this stream there's also a list of like tags you can edit and change and say okay, rounded corners of your cards.
Oh god, yes, please.
Make them transparent. Define how round the radius is. Actually, it's 2, 3, 4, 20 pixels, 10 pixels, whatever you want. You can even make them full round. So
that sounds really useful because I do know some basic CSS, but I just don't want to play too much with Home Assistant because I don't want to break it. But like rounded, because I am addicted to rounded corners because I have some cards that do not line up. I don't know where, but they do not line up properly. And with rounded corners, you could hide that. And just being able to change the background color on the fly with a card and stuff like that without having to go into the editor, that sounds really useful.
And what the thing is, you can even export your edits, import them in. So you'll have to import them in your what is it called? Custom, or I can't remember. I can't show anything since this would hide your camera. That's when you do things the wrong way round.
We wouldn't want that.
What is it? I can't remember what's it called. And have you guys seen what Dynotech has done with the rendering, redefining what Lovelace can do? He's using a lot of undocumented
Not
features
yet.
and directly writing CSS and JS classes, inline, wild stuff. I have seen what he has been doing. It's crazy, but at the same time, it's like Frankensteining stuff, and every update could break his whole system.
Yeah.
But he has been doing
Sounds
some stuff that is really nice. What did you just break?
What? Me?
Yeah, you just look like
Nothing.
you broke something.
Oh, no.
Don't look
I'm
at
just
perfect
hungry.
template card. Your brain will melt. Quick way to get you in trouble. Yeah, that's it. Ian said config template card. Your brain will. That's how it's called. Config template card. That's the card that Thomas Loven has told Dr. Z's to try, and it is really amazing, but it's just dangerous. You can mess up your whole thing, and so if you have been playing with Lovelace a lot and tried to tweak it, you will just break it. And the good thing is you just load another front end, and you're good. So that's a good thing. It won't save it if you don't want to.
Yeah, but still.
That's the thing.
I'm currently trying to think of things to add to Home Assistant. There's just so much you can do, and there's so many different ways of doing things as well.
Hello, Mr. Bonani. You just came in a little bit late. We will soon be
hello there.
ending the stream, unfortunately.
Hello, Mr. Babani.
So, I have configured my Lovelace with entity picture entity cards.
Hmm.
Look how many times Pascal has added a feature to HassOS to satisfy a need created by Frank.
Oh.
Yes, Robert. It's a need created by Frank, but it isn't just like, oh, I want it. It's like it is nice for the community. It would be nice for the community to have it, and it is justified. So Pascal wouldn't add anything just out of the blue because Frank asks for it. It's more like there is a real need. So yeah, that's like he really pushes. Yeah, that's like rumor. Let's say he really pushes out some useful tools for Home Assistant. That's the thing. And that's what I like. So my music is just dying. I've noticed. Of course, I think you're misunderstanding. Okay, yeah, okay, great.
The laptop wants a break.
Yeah, the laptop wants a break. And I too start to get tired a lot.
Yeah, and I'm hungry. I have some pasta bake left over from last night. I'll probably eat that. Lots of cheese.
Oh, okay. So my point is that because people stretch the boundaries, new features get shared with the community. Makes sense. But
yeah,
at the end, the right people should play and stretch the boundaries. Like Ian, I don't want to. Like Ian, maybe because he has been doing lots of nice cards. Frank also, he knows a little bit what he's doing sometimes. Sometimes it's just fun to watch him not knowing what he's doing, and you know he's also just a mere mortal like everybody. and yeah, that's the thing. So I haven't been changing my Lovelace appearance. I think since I've last summer I've been playing around a lot with it, and I have like a floor plan set up with buttons where I can click on it, and that's the thing I use. And on the phone I use the same thing. So
yeah,
I have no idea how I have ideas how I could do it, but then it's just doing too much. I think losing too much time. Like you could do cards based on times, what time it will appear, what time it will appear. What could be useful for you? Is maybe there is a custom header card, compact header card.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that.
So you can hide some tabs for different users.
Oh, that does sound really useful because I don't want I want a guest account that has access to lights but not other stuff.
Yeah, but for instance, your sister, your mother won't need to access your printer stuff, and
that sounds really useful.
That's really useful.
Yeah, I'll check that out because they also do not need to check out the tab that's open right now.
Yeah, exactly. I do enjoy watching Z struggle and play with the things, though. Yeah, that's the thing. He has a way to do it. I don't know where he gets all these ideas. I always want to stream like just a little bit like he does. He just goes for it. That's the thing. I just I just fiddle around a little bit. I could point a camera on it, but I think people wouldn't be interested.
Let's go to the psychology of it a bit. That's more of a self-confidence issue, I'd say, because I have the exact same problem, but the difference is I know that people, because I've been told by people that they'd be interested in it, but I'm like, oh no, nobody would watch, so I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? It's because I don't feel confident enough to do a stream where I show how to do something, because I tell myself that people will not be interested, even though I know it's not that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those... It's not a self-fulfilling prophecy. If anything, it's the opposite. I don't know how to explain it properly, but I think you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. So, the next thing I plan, one of my big streams, which I will do alone, not with anybody. So I want to keep this format up. It's like a talk show with Dono and guests. I will try to have some interesting guests soon. Another thing I want to do on like an usual stream would be my alarm. So I have been working I haven't been working on an alarm, and it will get interesting. It should get interesting. So all my doors and windows are wired. They have wired sensors.
Yeah.
So the issue is currently I don't know when they are open, and I have my covers going down based on a time. So when the sun has reached a given point, I have a sensor on the sun. So when the sun has reached a given point, the blinds will go all down, and you risk to be locked out. Since I do not monitor doors, and that's why now I'm building my alarm based on ESP32. And all my sensors, door sensors, will go in there. And first of all, it will just be a system that manages my doors and reports to Home Assistant what door is open when. And the nice thing about these ESP with running ESP Home is they can run by themselves.
Yeah.
So if Home Assistant is down, ESP Home the device will still work. So if I'm able to build an alarm based on that one, I could actually just have a cheapo alarm that reports to my Home Assistant, and if Home Assistant dies, I would still be able to get information just from that ESP. The thing is, there's no SIM module working right now.
Yeah.
And it won't be able to send messages without Home Assistant, I think.
You should be able to do that though. There's SPI SIM. I just put my foot on a laptop. That's not good. There's SPI modules that I know they work with Arduino, so
yeah, but
you could adapt
they
that.
work with Arduino, but not directly with ESP Home.
Couldn't you use an Arduino as a slave device?
I'd have to check. That's
Via I2C. That should work.
That should work, maybe. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah. Wait. What? I'm doing way too many squirrels with Dr. Z's. We need a robot. Yeah, wait, what? Yeah, way too many squirrels, lol. Mastery, Mr. Bonani, and your head speaker. What is that? I just missed something. So squirrels aren't for us. They are for Dr. Z's. That's a good thing, I guess. I think we are not squirreling too much. Yeah. Mastery, Mr. Bonani, and your head speaker. So we need River Pitera and Mr. Bonani. Oh, I missed a lot. I missed a lot.
I've been reading on the side.
Yeah, my stream. So let's have multiple guests. Agreed. Having people on. So this is pretty cool though. Having people on and that. Let's have multiple guests. Agreed at Robert Pitera. Like I joined, just not so much Brandy in me. Lol. We need Robert Pitera and Mr. Bonani on there too. Wait, what? Yeah, way too many squirrels. Lol. Mastery, Mr. Bonani, and your head speaker. XD. So, Mr. Bonani, would you like to join a stream one day?
You've put him on the spot.
We've taken over your stream calendar. So, Remodulate, would you like to be a guest on a stream? Do it.
Okay, so Remodulate says Mr. Banani should do it. So why? How could Remodulate say no himself now? He put himself on a spot. Please don't put me in a spot.
Topic changes too often with Dr. Ziz to watch him live, and he tries to help a lot of inexperienced users, which is great but boring for me personally.
I mean, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
If it's boring for you personally.
The problem with Dr. Zeus is he's been so, how do you call it, famous? He's gotten so famous.
He's been growing fast.
That he
His
can't.
channel, I mean.
Yeah. Well, that's not bad actually. That's really good. I'm
yeah,
happy for him.
I know. I'm just
the thing
saying.
is, he just can't keep up with the chat anymore. That's
what I mean.
That's his thing, and some people just sometimes feel left out, but it's not a bad thing. He just tries really hard to help everybody, but he also has to do his stream. That's the difficult part, actually. So
Political jokes in the chat.
do it. If Mr. Banani does it, I vote yes. And Robert Pitera XD. So Mr. Banani just disappeared out of the chat. I don't know what happened there.
He says, Hutch, how much is Adonalux paying you to be a guest today? Nothing, but that is a very good idea.
What are you talking about?
Nothing, just that you give me money for being on the stream. 100,000 euros, please. Thank you.
That wasn't agreed.
It is now. I'm joking.
Yeah, let's hope he doesn't burn out like Bandit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've contacted Ben, and he hasn't replied yet. I don't know. I think Ben, he's doing his thing. He wants to help people with Home Assistant, but I think he just can't. That's the thing. It's like Juan. Juan also tried. I remember him. He was going to do an ESP Home video, and then there was a new version with changes, and he had to stop and then wait for the new version to actually finish the video. And that's the thing also with Home Assistant. So creating a video, a tutorial will take some time, and it could become obsolete immediately, just like with the next release. Frank has been using Juan Tech. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Frank has been doing, if you remember, during a stream, Frank has been doing. It's called. We called it the speed install or the speed parkour run, where he installed InfluxDB, Grafana, Glances, and got everything hooked up together. So he created a user in InfluxDB and everything, and now it just isn't required because we have Ingress. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So Ingress changed the game a lot too. His comeback videos seem to be more about comedy than about learning, though. I miss the old band. Yeah. But since
it's not worth it though if he burns himself out.
Yeah, but since he left, there's been so many people coming on around, and it was fun. But I think he also thinks, what should he cover that hasn't been covered yet? That's also
that is true.
That's also a topic. I have been. The most things I see, the new things, nice things, are shown either by Dr. Z's or by Frank or by Juan, or they come in a tweet, and just going to get that idea and using it for myself wouldn't be right in my opinion. I would be using their work to create videos and to entertain other people. So just to get views, and that's not the thing I'd like to do, and that's why I've created this, let's say, format. There is a podcast existing, but I think the thing about the podcast is you can listen to it, but you can't interact with it live. And that's the thing I wanted to have, to just give the people the possibility to interact with the guests I will have on the show.
Yeah.
And just test them, fry them, and try them, grill them a little bit. I mean, it was a comeback and tutorial. Yeah, the old band was awesome. The new band, and where are his videos? Juan M Tech has a great delivery, slow and clear and well thought out. Presser Rocks, no. Ian Tritch, I love a good joke, but the video was all attempts at humor and no actual explanation of where he was or what was his plan coming back.
Yeah, but maybe he doesn't want to say what happened. Maybe it was something personal, and that's fair.
Yeah, it could be. So yeah, he said he was moving. That's a thing.
Yeah.
He could have been having health issues, and and that doesn't. He doesn't have to explain himself to us. If someone there are a lot of people just disappearing of the, let's say, YouTube or social media community, just because they are fed up. It takes a lot of time, and it can take a huge toll on your personal life. And if it's no more fun, where's the point in doing it?
Exactly. I mean, I do understand wanting to know what happened, because I want to know, but I'm like, you know, it's not really any of my business, so I will not pursue it any further, if you understand what I mean. I'm just a nosy person in general, so I always want to know what happens. But at the end of the day, if the person wanted us to know, they would tell us, if you understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't feel like doing videos for a while. I mean,
Yep.
I've done YouTube years ago. I've done gameplay videos. Oh my god, I'm ashamed. I'm joking. And one day I just didn't feel like it anymore, so I just stopped.
Yeah, you just
And
stop.
sometimes that just happens. If it's not fun, don't do it.
No, it's like a hobby, you know. You just do it every once in a week, and then you slowly it fades away, and you think, oh, I have free time. I could do something more with my free time, and you just forget about it. And I think Ben has been promising that he would do a bi-weekly release schedule.
Yeah.
He hasn't kept up with that bi-weekly release schedule, and there have been some people just saying, "Ah, Ben, where are your videos? Just do it." And what are you waiting for? We have been waiting for your videos. But at the end, we get free stuff. So why are we requesting stuff? It's just like saying, if we would give Frank shit for not releasing new updates, or Home Assistant saying, "Why aren't you releasing new updates?" People are doing that stuff on their free time. Maybe he gets monetized and everything, but still.
But I do have to agree with Robert on that. If you set the expectations, you kind of have to deal with the backlash. Like, a friend of mine, I don't want to name any names, so I don't want to do any too specific things. He keeps saying he will start streaming again. He says it every other day, and I know why he does it. He is very open about it. It is depression. He just doesn't get around to it. But just don't make a schedule. Because you're not just putting expectations on other people. You're also putting pressure on yourself to do it. So like you're pressuring yourself. Oh, I have to stream. I have to make a video.
Yep.
And that in itself can be harmful to you. That can take the wind out of the sails. So just do what you want when you want. Don't make it a necessity, or don't make it a chore. That's what I have to say for that.
Sorry for the music dropping out and coming back. That's my PC not keeping up with everything. I think I've been requesting too much. So where have we been hanging? So I agree.
Oh my god, I love huskies. Remodulate said he has a husky. I absolutely love huskies. They're the best.
So we are talking about dogs now.
Yes. Oh my god.
So how did that happen?
That I like huskies.
Mm.
I don't know. I think that like my favorite animal per se are wolves, and huskies. They're wolf-like, but they're very majestic, and it's just this majestic thing that I just find them majestic, and that's, I don't know, it's just impressive to look at them. I don't know, they're really cool as well. Like, I don't know. They are really bad as guard dogs though, so.
Squirrel. So we are having squirrels. But anyways, so we just broke the 2 hours mark. Like 6 minutes ago. Mr. Bonani, who just wanted to listen in, he's participating in the chat actively, so
That is good.
Dog! Yeah, that's not squirrel, that's dog. So Ben's come back with you, yeah. So he has a nice dog. Anyways, but that's not the point. Maybe he doesn't want to do Home Assistant stuff anymore, really.
Yeah. Or he just doesn't want to do videos anymore.
Yep.
It is a lot of work to make them.
So the other thing is, and that's a fact, that's a real fact, doing live streams is much more easier and less time expensive than doing a video, editing it, cutting it, and everything. Doing a live stream is just firing up a camera, having a vague idea what you're going to do, and just go with the flow for 1-2 hours. Doing a tutorial video, you have to have a script, you have to be prepared, everything has to be correct. You will have multiple takes and hope it will work out. So that's the thing. There are things that have been to be taken in account, and if you look at Ben's videos, they are quite, let's say, from the production wise, quite good.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time to make videos
just
like that.
leaving out the home assistant stuff and home automation stuff, his videos are quite good.
Yeah. I want to address something that Ian said. He said we are being too critical to a guy just trying to help people. I think we can all understand that life gets in the way, but that's what we've been saying. Like, of course, people want to know, but it's none of our business. If you get me, life does get in the way. That's what I've said before as well. It's just
yeah, that's
things happen, and
yeah, exactly.
If you don't want to tell people, that's fine.
We just try, Ian. I don't know if you got it right, maybe, but we tried just to defend Ben.
Yeah. I try to play devil's advocate and say both sides because I think doing a schedule puts expectations, like I said before, puts expectations on people. So obviously that does give people the right to criticize, but at the same time, doing a schedule also puts pressure on you. So maybe don't do it for that reason.
Yep.
Stuff like that, and it's none of our business what happened. And you know,
well,
if he ever comes back, that's fine.
The thing with a schedule is people like having a schedule because they know, okay, that's like I'm not following this the chat since it's
yeah.
not
He's
updating.
saying that he was talking to chat, not to us.
Okay. Thank you, Ian. So the thing with schedule is people like it because you know, okay, like let's say Frank will stream on Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. and that's the thing. So people will anticipate this moment.
Yeah.
And they will be how do you say enttäuscht? Help me. Disappointed, exactly. They will be disappointed that there is no stream, and that's what's happening on Fridays recently. So Frank is trying to advance with his add-ons. He's really giving it all he can, and while he says I prefer doing my add-ons and releasing them than having streams, since on streams I can't advance.
Yeah, I understand that as well.
So he's one of the examples. Or Dr. Z, he has a schedule, but then he has to work for he's actually an anesthesiast.
Yeah, no.
So he works also. Yeah, and he works also in ER. So if he has an emergency or if he has he can get his schedule quite quickly just messed up by his work. That's the thing. So let me just keep up with the chat. I just missed a lot.
Yeah, Mr. Bonani says I love Ben. He's one of the reasons I started in Home Assistant. I agree. It's the same for me.
Ben, everybody who started in Home Assistant stumbled upon Ben's first video, how to install Home Assistant and everything.
Yeah, that was the video I saw.
And the thing I liked a lot is actually when he restarted, he just created a new how to install Home Assistant video, and it was quite interesting. Just by a user point of view who has been like, I'll call myself maybe experienced user. It was interesting to see him explaining Home Assistant, how to install Home Assistant again in an easy, funny way, but too long maybe. It took too long to explain everything, but it was right on point.
I've not been keeping up with YouTube or Twitch or anything because I wish I could watch more streams than that, but I come home from school and I'm tired.
Yeah.
And I do like having streams in the background, but all the home automation streams, it's usually stuff like Dr. Z streams or Frank streams. I usually watch them after the fact because I don't want to watch them on the side when I like fall asleep or whatever, because I actually want to concentrate on them. So
we need to set up Discord call center where we can call in, lol.
Oh God, please no.
No, stop it. This would get it's a mess already.
Don't give us ideas.
So we will call this the bi-weekly Home Assistant chat show. I think this will be fun. And it could get fun if there will be more people tuning in. I hope so.
But chat in French, so it's a cat.
Yeah. This was too fun.
I
like it.
Hashtag
I like it. Well,
quadrilingual life.
So guys, if you like it, share it. The more the what do you call it?
The more the merrier.
Yeah, exactly, yes. So that's the thing. I hope there will be more people, so it will just derail. That's the thing. The idea is, since I will have the guest. I want him to talk about Home Assistant, show a bit off, and then it should just become a casual chat. We will have, and I had a chat with Paulus, and he is game to participate in one of these. The thing is, he said he won't show his Home Assistant.
That's fair. I get why. I can understand why.
He says people would be. He thinks people would be a bit disappointed since it's the saying with the shoemaker who has the worst shoe.
I can relate to that. I mean, I understand that. That's fair.
Don't set a schedule you can't keep.
He's right. Don't.
Yeah. I said bi-weekly. That's the idea. So the idea would be bi-weekly. I have to check out since if I want to have a guest, there has to be planning. This took us 2 hours and a half just to set up screen sharing, camera, and everything, since it was our first time, and it was quite spontaneous. Thank you, Hutch, for being so flexible on that matter, since we have been trying to do it yesterday to prepare everything and we weren't able, and I just wrote you up, and half an hour later we were just setting up everything.
That's fine.
I don't think it will happen every time.
The spontaneous part.
Yeah, the spontaneous part. I think it will take some scheduling with people. That's the most difficult. Like I maybe will have also what's his name? Now he will hate me for that. The guy doing the guy doing the podcasts. Oh no, what's his name?
And you can't even Google because the computer will die.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I have no computer, but I have Discord, and we have chatted. So let me check. It's
Phil. People are saying Phil.
Phil Halpern. Yeah, exactly. Phil. So he lives in Australia. So,
oh God.
So
the time difference.
The time difference will be quite difficult to have us together in one stream, and then we'll have to set it up. That could be actually a weekend stream.
Yeah, probably.
In the middle of the day, and that's the thing. Good. I think we're gonna call it a night.
All right.
Since we are online, so we said we would stop it at the 2 hours mark, and we are already
past that.
way past. We are 2 hours 15, and if somebody wants to watch it one day or just listen into it, it would take them too long.
That is true. So, next time, if I'm ever invited back again, if I wasn't too boring, I'll have a better microphone, I promise. It's in the other room.
No, well, actually, your mic is quite good. It's okay.
It's a Logitech C920 webcam.
But so it's a quite decent webcam. It's better than mine.
I'm surprised the microphone sounds good because I tried it in the past and it sounded like absolute dog shite. To say politely.
No, it's good.
All right.
So what?
That's good to know.
Because it looks awful like mine. Mine is in constant under construction. I show off the. Now you're a pro. XT Phil. Yeah, given the time, the day where you are, I think it's not any commitment, and I really appreciate it. I'm on his postcard in May. Remodulate will be on Phil's podcast. More. Thomas, yeah, Thomas Loven will. So guys, that's a thing. Hit me up with names, and I will try to contact the people and set up days where we could stream. This was the first one. It's a pilot. I think we called it pilot, and the idea was just to get started and have an idea how it could, how the format could work like. I had this idea 2 months ago. I told Mr. Bonani 2 months ago I would like to do something like this. He was eager to watch it and was a bit disappointed that it would take me 2 months to set it up, but I had also life going on, just like
Lots of other people.
no, I just changed work, and
Yeah.
I got father, so I had to get accommodated with my daughter, and now that we're 2 months in, everything should be rolling.
I'll take that as a compliment, Remodulate.
It sounds pretty good. You both look and sound good. No complaint on this, and it makes you sound British. So your mic makes you sound British.
It's not the mic, I promise you.
It's good to know. I remember it being, maybe it was my settings, very probably. Ian Ruffin. Okay. Good choice. Clever lad, touch insane. Yeah, clever lad. Maybe not so clever. I just asked him, would you be game? And he said yes. He didn't even know what he would put himself into.
I like to live dangerously. Or I have no self-preservation instinct. It might be that.
Yeah, it could be. Good. Guys, thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for having me as well.
Oh, that was a pleasure. I hope we
You say that now.
No. It was actually, well, it was a bit painful to set it up, since we set it up on another PC and then we had to move once we were set up and everything, but it is working. So we had something working out. I should get to hang out of it. Let's say one more stream, which will be painful, and then it should be fine. Okay, so let's call it a night. Thank you for tuning in, and if you have any comments, positive or negative, just hit me up on Discord and I will take them and will accommodate to them, or ban you, whatever. No, won't ban you, don't worry. Critique is welcome every night.
Yeah. Constructive criticism.
Yeah, constructive
Criticism. How to English.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.